I'm not wearing any pants. Film at 11.
Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of 3 Geeks Flix. Joining me as always is the Muse, Justin Kyle. Say hello everyone, Justin.
Hello everyone.
Ah yes, and of course I am the Tech, Mitchell Wright. We're back with another Warm Blankets. This is number 3, folks. Special number 3 on 3 Geeks Flix, of course, you all being the third geek. Now, if you do not remember what a warm blanket is, I'm going to make Justin, that's right, make him explain to you again what a warm blanket is.
So, essentially, a warm blanket is a film you grew up watching. It's all subjective. It's all generational.
Okay.
It's something that isn't necessarily a family-friendly kids film, but more, it has the essence of you remember watching it vividly. So when you watch it today, after several years have passed, it takes you back to when you were younger. That's the ultimate test for a warm blanket. Is does it take me back to those years? So, you know, for instance, it could be a more adult-oriented movie, but if you grew up watching it, so when you watch it today, it takes you back. They don't necessarily have to hold up to the test of time. In fact, a lot of them don't. And that's also a test of a warm blanket is, you know, regardless of the critical score, you don't really care because you grew up watching it, so it will always have a warm place in your heart. So, pun intended, warm blankets.
Indeed. Well said, sir. Well said. I'm impressed.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
Oh, you're welcome very little. Anyway, as I always do, I look to you, good Muse, and say, Justin, give it to me. What you got?
The first film on my list, like last list, is a warm blankets sports film.
Oh, okay.
Sports genre.
Okay.
Of the sporting type, if you will. It is the classic warm blanket, the 1992 film called The Mighty Ducks.
Ah, the old ducks, Emilio.
Emilio
Esteves.
You know, hey, we could talk about this film for a while, I guess, if we really wanted to. Classic film, like The Sandlot, as in, you know, last time. It was very funny, family friendly. It was taken seriously at the time. Mm-hmm. It is an original gangster in the warm blanket sports genres, right? You can't really say it was an all-star cast because a lot of this was their breakout performances, but right. A lot of them went on to become serious actors. I mean, Joshua Jackson, as well as some others in that time. Right. Emilio Estevez, as we said before. Charlie was the man. I mean, that's all you got to say. Charlie was the man.
Indeed.
He was the captain of the Ducks. You know, in my heart, in my eyes, the Ducks will always fly.
Indeed. Very good, sir. Very good. My list is a tad titch, just a bit more adult than some of the previous ones, minus a few. My first movie is going to be a 1994 movie by Neil Jordan. The book was written by Anne Rice. It is Interview with a Vampire.
Yep.
All-star cast and Brad Pitt, Tom Cruise, Antonio Banderas, Christian Slater and of
Yep.
course Kirsten Dunst. That book really, I felt, did justice to Anne's book more than the others. So, great performances. Really helped further Pitt's career. Kept Cruz alive in the eyes of many. Banderas making a great little cameo. Christian Slater was still on the radar at that time. Poor guy, I don't know where he's at this day. And Kirsten Dunst breaking out, coming out, child actress, making it know she's got the chops. Fantastic performance by all. Great story. Tried to carry on through all the other movies and was not, or is not, duplicated with Queen of the Damned. So, bravo to that one. It's a solid. That's a 9. That's a solid 9 of a movie. I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna say it's a 10. I may have thought it was a 10 at one time, but it's a 9.
Yeah, I mean that's a solid film. I could talk a while about that. Good choice. Very good choice.
And maybe 9.5 because those vampires don't sparkle.
No, they don't. They chop each other in half with a sickle. So
Indeed.
You, Twilight.
I got a little editing to do on this one.
Yeah, you did it, so I thought, hey, you know what?
He threw it
Not
out
all
there.
warm blankets are for kids, folks.
Indeed.
Okay. My second film is it's a classic.
Mm-hmm.
It's a classic warm blanket. Now, not a classic film, but a classic warm blanket. It's a classic in this genre. It's a feel-good film. 1993, a little film called Homeward Bound, The Incredible Journey.
It's a good movie.
I can't hear you. You just went completely silent.
No, it's a good movie. Sorry, I just kind of got real. I just kind of wandered off, and I was like, "Yeah, it's a good movie." Sorry.
Okay.
Good movie.
Okay.
Good
I was
movie.
wondering. Yeah, that's how good it is. It makes people soundless. You got Chance, Michael J. Fox, perfectly cast. You got Shadow, the older, wiser one, and of course you got Sally Field as Sassy. When they say an incredible journey, they weren't messing around. What a incredible journey that these characters have. You bond with them. It's such a feel-good movie, yet at sometimes, like most warm blankets at last, it was serious at the same time. I mean, I'm a dog person. I've always had a dog in my life. We grew up raising dogs, and this is arguably, it could be, maybe not so much as Old Yeller, but one of the best dog films of all time, for sure.
Very nice.
If you are into dogs. And pets in general. I mean, Sassy was a cat.
Yeah.
So, Shadow was an original gangster, man. Chance was the Mac Daddy, and Sassy was exactly that. She was a sassy cat. She was a cool cat. So, hey, it's not critical. It's not a critical masterpiece.
No.
But in the genre of warm blankets, it definitely holds its own up there.
Okay. Very nice. Very nice, sir. My second movie is a 1985 film by Jonathan Lynn, starring Tim Curry, Christopher Lloyd, Martin Mull, and Leslie Ann Warren. It is the movie live-action version of the board game Clue. Now, I don't know how many of y'all from the younger years have ever played Clue, or if Clue is still around, but this movie had a fantastic cast. It was a great whodunit, and Tim Curry in this movie was absolutely fantastic. The movie is hilarious. It's a comedy. It's a whodunit comedy with the feel of a serious vibe. And I challenge any of you out there have not seen this movie. Like I said, I was 5 years old when this came out. I remember watching this movie. To this day, this movie will come on TV. I don't care what station it's on. I don't care if there's commercials. I will sit and stop and watch it wherever it's at. And just, it takes me back, man. And it's the master and the man, Tim Curry. It is one of the greats of Christopher Lloyd. I mean, and the rest of the cast of its time in the 80s was a great cast, was well-known actors and actresses, and you just can't touch the performance that Curry gave in all this. So,
right.
Clue, baby. Check it out if you haven't. It's not a 10. And it could be a clutch film at times for me in the older generation. But it's an 8.5. 8.5. Check it out, young people. Clue.
Another advantage of these warm blanket lists, you get people movies to look forward to.
Education, baby.
Okay. My next film. I don't know. I honestly like Clue. I don't know how many people have, especially, my next film was in 1962, so it's an older film for sure.
Oh, wow. We're going back in the day, folks. Get ready.
I don't know how many people can say that they've seen this, and that's a really sad fact, because this movie, if you know anything about film history, American film history, this movie's a 10, for sure. Okay. It's a film directed by Robert Mulligan called To Kill a Mockingbird.
Ah.
Now,
it's a fantastic
Gregory
film,
Peck
sir.
won the Oscar for Best Actor. This won 3 Oscars, including adapted screenplay written from the author, Harper Lee. When this book came out, it changed things. Very controversial at the time. Mm-hmm. This movie, in and of itself, is the embodiment of feel-goodness, especially if you were a young kid, right? Even the opening scenes where it shows, the opening credits. I mean, everything was so well thought out. It was so good that the American Film Institute named that Gregory Peck's portrayal of Atticus Finch was rated the #1 protagonist in the 20th century of film. So, to say that this movie is a 10 is kind of a obvious statement at this point.
And even an understatement.
Really, for what it did with film. So, for a family-friendly movie about something very serious, like race at that time, yet, I mean, it changed things. I mean, there's no two ways about it. This takes us back to the black and white days, yet, again, it still, for sure, stands the test of time, for sure. I mean, this is one of those ones where, every once in a while you have one on your list, just kind of like, I think my one last time was Back to the Future, and you're like, oh yeah, it's undeniably a 10, right? I mean, if someone were to disagree, I would kind of immediately be like, you probably shouldn't watch our channel, but stay subscribed. You know what I mean? Like, for real. I mean, right?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I hear what you mean, a little something.
To Kill a Mockingbird. That's all you got to say.
Okay. All right. Very nice. Way to go back in the day. In the day. My next movie is back in the day a little bit, 1984. It's a Joe Dante film. It was written by Chris Columbus, who, if y'all can remember, was involved with the Harry Potter movies here recently.
Right.
It's got
Zach. Harry Potter
that's
movies.
right. Zach Galligan, Phoebe Cates, Corey Feldman was in it. Howie Mandel did the voice of a very iconic character in the movie Gremlins. Warm blanket. And some will say, oh, but it's kind of a Christmas movie. Why don't you hold on to it? Well, here's the thing. You can watch that movie any time of the year. And how many people, even kids some to this day, don't know the term Gizmo Mogwai? I mean, come on, man. Come on.
Gizmo, man.
Gizmo was the man.
We named our first dog Gizmo after that movie.
And then you had Spike and the rest of the guys. I mean, fantastic movie. Timeless classic. You just
that's classic, dude.
You just can't get more 80s, classic 80s, family, kind of drama / feel good at times than that.
A little bit of horror thrown in there too. Yeah.
Just awesome movie. Cast, a lot of them, aren't necessarily in the game, in the mainstream to this day, except of course Howie Mandel and Corey Feldman. Everybody remembers them. Zach and Phoebe kind of fell off the map, but and there's talk, folks, that there is another Gremlins in works.
Yep.
So
I've heard that too.
Everybody, grab your kids, grab your young nieces and nephews, cousins, whatever it is. Set them down, get Gremlins 1 and 2, and have them get that learn on. That's all I can tell you.
Right.
And that movie's an easy 9, if not higher.
Man, that's
a 10. That's a 10.
The animatronics
were groundbreaking at time.
That's correct. I mean, hey, the
puppetry
and animatronics.
It really did break some ground. So yeah, we could say this is arguably a 10. Sure. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So my fourth film is also, depending on your perspective, could arguably be groundbreaking. I don't know if I would give it a 10, but it's arguably groundbreaking. Mm-hmm. It is the classic film, the 1989 warm blanket called Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
That's a good movie.
Right?
Right?
Directed by Joe Johnston, 1989. What a classic film. So they also had some, the animals, the ants, the scorpions, the life-size insects. What a great adventure. Rick Moranis, back in the day when he was still an original. He still is. He'll always be an OG. He still is an OG. But he's what they call a living legend, folks. No, I'm just kidding. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Feel good film. It makes you want Cheerios for sure. From that one scene. Remember? You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Makes you want Cheerios.
And it made you feel for an animatronic ant.
I was about to go there. Man, how sad is that? That
Tragic.
Ant sacrificed him. And I'm pretty sure that was a baby ant. That was a child ant. That couldn't have been a grown adult ant, right?
No, I think it was younger. Like an adolescent, preteen. Yeah, something like that.
Teenager. They identified with it, so it had to be, 13, 14. But hey.
Indeed.
You know what? It held its own against that. Was it a scorpion? Was it a scorpion that it took on?
Scorpion.
Or a spider. I think it was a scorpion, right?
It's a scorpion.
Hey, it went down like a gangster. It went up, guns blazing. For real.
Don't get teary-eyed. Don't get teary-eyed.
Yeah, man.
Keep it in.
Seriously, when you watch that when you're young, it was a teary-eyed scene almost.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a thing. So.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Bravo,
Honey,
sir.
I Shrunk the Kids.
Bravo, sir.
Thank you.
My next film, and I'm going to save one of them to drop the mic at the end. My next film is a 1986 film directed by a name y'all won't really know, Randall Kleiser. It had some unknown names. Child actor at the time was Joey Kramer. The voice of one of the most iconic characters in the movie was the ship itself, which Paul Rubin did, and it actually had a very young Sarah Jessica Parker in it. It is Flight of the Navigator. Now, I don't know how many of y'all have ever seen this or heard of this movie, but the premise of this movie is that a boy stumbles upon a ship and gets in it, and it's this starship that has been traveling the universe and has collected all these different aliens and everything in time, and it goes and takes him into the future somehow, and when it takes him back to his world, back to Earth. And he sees his older brother that's grown up, and he's been away for so long and everything, and it's kind of a kid going through some stuff, coming of age, trying to deal with some things in his life, and here you have this unlikely outsider and friend that he makes, and it just really kind of teaches him about where he's at, what he's got going on in the world, and it's a feel-good movie. It's another one of those feel-good movies of the 80s that really does what movies in the 90s and today just can't mimic. So if none of you have seen it, this is another great film for the kids, Flight of the Navigator.
Flight of the Navigators.
Mm-hmm.
What year did you say it came out again?
1986. Watch this with my brother, the Sage, often. Love this movie.
I'll check it out. It's an interesting premise. Well, I mean, this is my final film, number 5. Mm-hmm. I don't have to say a lot about this one.
Mm-hmm.
It is the 1982 film called E.T. the Extraterrestrial. So
nice little mic drop there.
Directed by Steven Spielberg.
It is
classic.
It is.
This actually went on to, be the influence for his studio, Ambient Pictures, which we all know that's made an impact on cinema. I think this was right after because this came out in 1982. I think this was right after.
It was after some good movies, yeah.
It was after, what was that?
Don't worry, I'll let you know.
Okay, yeah, I mean, a classic film, all-star cast at that time, all kid actors, a lot of them have grown up. Drew Barrymore, I mean, so many, when you think of this film, so many iconic memories with this. Reese's Pieces, right? E.T. Phone Home.
Indeed.
The glowing finger. The classic groundbreaking shot of bicycling across the silhouette of the moon. I mean, it's about as warm blanket as you can get.
It is indeed.
Really.
It is indeed.
And this is before my time. I was born in '88, so this is 6 years my senior, and it still blew my mind. I mean, it is what it is.
It is.
E.T.
It is, and it is a 10 without a doubt. If you haven't seen it, you need to get your kids together. This is the antithesis of the 80s family films. Absolute antithesis. It is cannot be touched and not be compared to another. Right.
I agree.
Absolutely.
I literally did not say it better than that. So, thank you very much, Doug.
Indeed. Indeed. Hey, takes me back. My final film is a 1981 film that was also directed by Mr. Steven Spielberg, along with a story by Mr. George Lucas. It starred Harrison Ford, Karen Allen, and Johnny Rhys Davies. It is Raiders of the Lost Ark. Folks, I can't tell you how timeless and classic and warm this movie makes me feel. But I know that it makes one other person in my life even warmer, and that is my brother, the Sage. These are absolutely some of his favorite films. This is absolutely one of his favorite films. This is a tribute to him, for sure, of warm blankets in his honor. You just can't get much better than Indy. Harrison Ford is Indy. And I loved him as Han Solo, but Harrison Ford is and always will be Indiana Jones and will not be duplicated. His mannerisms, his cool, calm demeanor at one moment, and then snakes. I hate snakes. Yeah, and it's like, it's so much personality, this professor that has this double life. And the cast that went with him, he is the ultimate average Joe good guy. Right. Not with a gun, with a whip. With a whip, people. He made the whip awesome. And the hat, anybody to this day sees that hat and goes, hey, that's Indiana Jones.
And the jacket, man.
And that jacket was... So, folks, I say it with great ease. This film is and always will be a 10. It will never be surmounted in its genre. This movie alone has brought forth movies that are coming out, like the video games Uncharted was highly inspired by Indiana Jones.
Right. Yes, it was. Yeah.
Movies like National Treasure, The Mummy, Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
All those have to call back to the granddaddy, the OG of them all.
Yeah.
Raiders of the Lost Ark. Harrison Ford as Indiana Jones.
That's got to be 10 too. That's got to be a 10.
Yeah, it paved the way for many things to come.
Yeah, that's a classic one. Is that out of that series? Is that your favorite indie flick?
Yeah.
For sure, really? And that was the first one, yes? That was the very first one? So, mine is a tie between that one and The Last Crusades. I love
The Last Crusade with Sean Connery, absolutely.
I think I would have to choose that one because that was me in my prime watching those. So, I probably watched that one before Raiders, but it's a 10, man. Good choice. Oh, yeah. Great choice.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's all we have for you here today, folks, on this episode of Warm Blankets. Like I said, not all of them have to be kids' movies, breaking out a little bit of the adult 80s. Maybe we've got some people that, happen to be in their late 30s or 40s or something like that they can definitely feel warm talking about these, hearing about these. But other than that, check us out on Facebook. It's 3 Geeks Flix, spelled out. Flix is Flix. Give us a like, comment, holler at us, troll us, let us know you're out there. If you don't do Facebook, we've got Twitter. It's at the number 3 Geeks Flix. Again, Flix is Flix. Give us a follow. You can troll, comment, holler there. Get involved. Be that third geek. That's why it's called 3 Geeks Flix, because you, the viewer, again, are the third geek. And that way we can have you on a Geek Speak that's on YouTube. And hey, we could talk about a topic you might like to wax philosophic about with us, even though we're probably not your most deep thinkers. But hey, we can sure as hell try. And the Muse can sit there smiling, almost forebodingly. Stop it. No, you're going a different route. Stop it. Okay. I know. Alright, folks. Well, other than that, appreciate you all sticking around, and as I always say, stay tuned to the glow of those monitors, because we're going to get you next time. Good night. You at your office?
Yeah, I was doing some work recording.
Need to get out more. 1987.
Yes.
What's it start with?
L. It starts with T as in the.
What's the third letter?
The second word after the.
After L.
S.
Okay. Who's the director?
The director's initials are JS. Are you me?
How many letters are in the second word?
4.
How many letters are in the third word?
4.
The Lost Boys.
Yep. Mother.
Yep.
Yep. That was it.
Why is it every time you look up like movies, it always brings up a porn picture? Apparently there was a movie called Family Thighs.
Right.
It's a classic. Now that all the hoorah, ha-la-ha, blah-blah-blah is done. I don't know what any of that means. I don't know what I'm saying. Ah. Okay.
You looked really high right then.
It'd be the one time.
Yeah.
I leave that to you, good sir. Sorry.
Alright, you ready?
I'm ready.
Ready? What my favorite is on your list.
What's that?
I can already tell you what it is.
What's that?
It's the Mighty Ducks. It better be the Mighty Ducks. I'm just kidding. This is oh damn! I just thought of an awesome warm blanket.
Uh-oh. Keep it to yourself.
Nope, we're gonna have to redo the show right now. I don't think I'm asking for too much. You better. Let's do it again. I'm ready. Ready, go.
I gotta go.
Hey everyone. That's what you do. You almost got me this time. I know what you're doing. You're trying to see if I can hold it in. That's why you start so abruptly now, right?
Yes.
It's good. It's good. It makes me genuinely smile, which doesn't happen very often these days. Huh?
Why doesn't that surprise me? But it's so great to see you smile. Just look at me. Wrong smile.
Someone said that recently, that it's good to see me smile, so I immediately did that to him. I was like... I kind of looked like a... Never mind, I was going to say something way too mean. Mm-hmm.
Like you're getting ready to be done with that, and you're going to go, it's a cold, rainy night in 85.
It was a cold night in 85. There were 4 of us that left that night. Only 3 of us came back. Only 2 of us came back men. Only 1 of us came back with our dignity.
I'm afraid that that's a true story.
You could literally build an epic movie around that. If you just pitch that to like executive producers and then you walk out the room. They're like, what happened? What happened? And you're like, that's right.